You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. In 10 on your side, we get help for a PG&E customer who accidentally pays a wrong bill. Then, in dollars and cents, how the possible expiration of a 2017 tax law could hit your wallet. And to wrap everything up, we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us deep into the Tahoe National Forest to check out one of Northern California's most remote bars. ABC10 Plus This Week starts right now. Colleges and K-12 schools have been ordered to end diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and initiatives or run the risk of losing federal funding. This letter was sent by the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. It says, quote, treating students differently on the basis of race to achieve nebulous goals such as diversity, racial balancing, social justice, or equity is illegal under controlling Supreme Court precedent. So what does this mean for K-12 schools and universities here in California? ABC 10's Luke Clary joins us now with a closer look.
Well, Laura, this letter lays out a new federal anti-discrimination enforcement policy, and according to experts, it has school administrators scrambling. According to the new Department of Government Efficiency, the letter was sent to the Departments of Education in all 50 states, notifying them that they have 14 days to remove all DEI programming in all public schools or risk losing federal funding. Professor of Education and Public Policy Sean Harper says it's been enormously stressful for education officials in the state.
It has required them to scramble to determine ways to maintain their commitments to diversity, equity, and inclusion without losing their federal funding. So right now, all across America, including here in California, millions of educators are literally scrambling to figure out how to balance those two things.
The likely effect, according to Harper, is that many schools will eliminate their DEI programs and initiatives.
The next 2 weeks ahead will be chaos in our nation's schools and on college campuses, as many educational leaders, out of fear, will go and scrub their websites and attempt to rename programs and services.
ABC 10 reached out to multiple K-12 school districts in the region. What action they will take remains unclear. The California State University system said it was aware of the letter and said in part, quote, as this type of action is unprecedented, we're consulting with the California Attorney General and higher education partners across the country to better understand the statewide impact of this letter. USC education professor Morgan Polikoff said he believed the letter exceeded the government's authority and might not stand up to a court challenge.
I read this as broadly a threat, a very serious threat, but again, one that I think is likely to have its biggest impact in terms of people just reacting to it rather than through the enforcement mechanism.
Now we have a few comments from local school districts now. Sacramento City Unified said it is, quote, committed to ensuring all of our children have access to a free and enriching educational experience regardless of their background. We will review and analyze the memo in light of this commitment. And Elk Grove Unified said, quote, that we're currently working with our legal counsel to review the recent orders. We'll need some time to fully assess the impacts. Elk Grove Unified remains committed to prioritizing the safety of all our students, families, and staff, end quote. Laura.
All right, Luke Clary reporting tonight. Thank you.
Marks 1 month since President Trump took the oath of office, starting his second administration with a blitz of controversial executive orders and slashes to the federal workforce. Tonight, as Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, spearhead those cuts, calls are growing for people to ditch their Teslas. That's a company, of course, that Musk owns. People protested outside Tesla dealerships this past weekend. This is video out of the Bay Area. Organizers called for people to trade in their cars and divest from the company. Well, tonight, ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen is taking a closer look at how this is impacting Sacramento drivers.
I first got I would say obsessed with Tesla starting in 2020.
Pharmacist Bryce Whitesides from Sacramento says he's a proud Tesla owner, owning 4 Teslas in the past 4 years and now drives a Cybertruck. But lately, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has caused frustration as he carries out the Trump administration's objectives through DOGE.
I can't even statistically prove that a favorable Harris voter favorable of Elon exists. His unfavorable rating is 76%, off the charts. So Elon has become an incredibly polarizing figure.
Michael Murphy founded the EV Politics Project, a bipartisan organization aimed at closing the gap between Republicans and Democrats over electric vehicles. The organization polled 600 voters this year to see how parties felt about Tesla. More than 64% of Trump supporters favor the company as compared to 41% of Harris voters.
Among the Democrats who currently buy EVs at a rate 4 or 5 times as high as Republicans, they can't stand them.
Tesla drivers here in Sacramento say they have felt the impacts of the work Elon Musk is doing for the Trump administration.
It's been a little bit annoying to me. Like, I was just sitting here, I plugged in the Cybertruck today, and as I was getting back in the car, a lady walked by and she said, "Your car is really dumb."
Tesla owners and dealerships have been recently targeted. In one of a number of incidents, the FBI and ATF are investigating. A Tesla dealership in Oregon recently had its windows shot out. Musk's political behavior caused former ABC10 employee George Warren to change his mind about owning a Tesla.
The guy is brilliant, but he's also, I think, increasingly unhinged. And he's doing and saying some things that I find repugnant. And I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to drive my car anymore.
But regardless of politics, Whiteside says he'll remain loyal to the Tesla brand.
So they just came out with a brand new Model Y, so I'm looking at getting one of those in the future.
And Jeannie, we've seen headlines saying Tesla's sales are being down, and this has some people asking, is Elon Musk's politics to blame here?
Well, Becca, the group EV Politics Project, who polled the voters, said the reason for the decline are complicated, but there are hints that Musk's politics could be playing a role in this. Now, according to data from the California New Car Dealers Association, the Tesla Model Y and Model 3 were the 2 top-selling electric vehicles in the state in 2024. And while Tesla's total market share declined in California, it is still only behind Toyota in terms of market shares. ABC10 did reach out to Tesla for comment, but did not receive a response, Becca.
Jeannie, thank you.
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, big changes could be coming to your taxes. 2025 is a pivotal year for tax policy, with a 2017 tax law set to expire by the end of the year if Congress doesn't keep it in place. So what's at stake, and what can you do now to prepare?
A major federal income tax overhaul.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, passed by Congress in 2017 under the first Trump administration, substantially changed federal tax deductions, rates, and credits. It's set to expire at the end of this year unless Congress steps in to extend it.
Should this expire, what are the consequences for federal taxes?
For starters, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act reduced all of the major federal tax brackets. So if the TCJA does in fact expire, singular immediate consequences, you're going to be subject to higher percentage tax rates than what you have been over the past 8 or 9 years.
So we know since 2017, single filers and joint filing taxpayers have really enjoyed the benefits of a higher standard deduction, which thanks to the act had more than doubled.
Yeah.
Break down for us, Joseph, what viewers can expect as far as changes if Congress doesn't act and step in. What are the costs to taxpayers here?
Sometimes people itemize on their tax return rather than taking the standard deduction. So if that standard deduction does in fact drop, which it is set to drop significantly if the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act expires, it's going to mean a higher tax bill for a lot of Americans who are taking the standard deduction, just because they're not going to be able to take as large of a standard deduction as what was previously the case under the TC&JA.
Joseph Eshelman, the president of TowerPoint Wealth, also says should the act expire, there may be more opportunities for itemizations and deductions, such as charitable donations, that weren't available while the act was in place. If you use the child tax credit, which doubled under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act from $1,000 to $2,000 per child, Eshelman says taxpayers could expect that credit to return to $1,000 should the act expire.
A lot of families who have children, they really rely on that because the cost of childcare is so expensive. This could be detrimental, like you said, to middle-class families.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And and when they double the credit, with the passage of the act in 2017, it was huge for a lot of families.
Experts say at this time it appears the likelihood of the act being extended is fairly strong. But a lot can change from now to the end of this year. We'll be monitoring it closely and keep you updated. If you file in California, also pay attention to the SALT deduction, which stands for state and local taxes. Right now, under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the SALT deduction is capped at $10,000, which experts say isn't much for places like California. If the act expires, the SALT deduction cap would go away, and you may benefit from a higher deduction opportunity. So talk with your financial planner or tax advisor about that. We'll have links to additional tax filing resources on our website, ABC10.com. Plus, streaming now, a Dollars and Cents special highlighting stories on how to set and meet new money goals for 2025. You can take a picture of the QR code on your screen to find ways to download our ABC10 Plus TV streaming app.
Tonight, in Your Voice, Your Vote, the field of candidates vying to become California's next governor is growing. We know Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco officially declared that he is joining the race. I want to bring in ABC10's Becca Hotbegger, who's been following this for us. She's been taking a look at the growing list of contenders and what might happen if Kamala Harris throws her hat in the ring.
Thank you all very much for being here today.
On Monday, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco officially announced his bid for California governor.
I am running for governor of our beautiful state, which I absolutely love, because our head is heading down the wrong track, and it has been for years.
Bianco is the highest profile Republican to join the race so far. High profile Democrats include Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond, former Senate Pro Tem and Speaker of the Assembly Tony Atkins, former State Controller and current California Democratic Party Vice Chair Betty Yee, and former LA Mayor and Speaker of the Assembly Antonio Villaraigosa. There's speculation former Vice President Kamala Harris and former U.S. Representative Katie Porter might enter the race.
What I'm most interested in seeing is how large this field will get and whether Kamala Harris will get in, because polls indicate, and not just one, but a couple polls indicate that she would be in a very strong position to capture the governor's race should she get in.
ABC 10 political analyst Steve Swat points to a poll out last week from Emerson College, which found 57% of likely primary voters would support Harris if she ran for governor. Porter was next with 9% of likely voters, 17% undecided. Californians will cast their first vote for governor in the June 2nd, 2026 primary. The top two vote getters will go on to the general election in November.
Right now, you have a large field of Democrats, and they could end up splitting much of the vote, which would allow a single Republican, perhaps, who was fairly strong, to at least get into the general election. And then once that happens, I suppose anything could happen. I still don't believe this is a state right now that is ready to elect a current type of a Republican, the governor of California.
ABC 10 asked both the California Republican and Democratic parties about their thoughts and strategy in the gubernatorial race. California GOP chairwoman Jessica Milan Patterson told us in a statement in part, Gavin Newsom and California Democrats' disastrous one-party rule has driven our state to the top of all the wrong lists. It's time to restore common sense governing to our state's highest office, and we look forward to a robust field of qualified Republican candidates, including Sheriff Chad Bianco, making the case to voters for how to fix our broken state. California Democrats Chair Rusty Hicks was not available for an interview Monday, and the party did not provide a statement as of deadline.
All right, I want to go ahead and bring in Becca now because she's been following this for us. And we know the field of candidates for lieutenant governor could also be a long one as well, right?
Yeah, that's right, Alex. You know, on the California Secretary of State's website is a list of people who have filed what's called a statement of intention to run for a specific office. It's not an official declaration, but it does give a peek into who's eyeing a run. And a candidate can file for multiple races. And now those who have filed for lieutenant governor include current state treasurer Fiona Ma, current California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara, several former state senators who just termed out, including Stephen Bradford, Brian Daly, Bill Dodd, and Steve Glazer, former Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs, and Alex, more than a dozen others, including former and even current lawmakers. So needless to say, it will be an exciting political season leading up to that June 2026 primary.
And needless to say, we'll be following this really closely. If you have questions, you know, you can always reach out to us. Becca, thank you so much for the update. We appreciate it.
New tonight, a viewer named Kimberly reached out to 10 on Your Side saying customers in a neighborhood in Ione had been paying their neighbor's bill. Her guess is that it's because it's a newly developed neighborhood and the address information got mixed up. She decided to warn others by contacting 10 on Your Side. I went straight to PG&E for answers, and they tell me sometimes customers do indeed pay the wrong bill.
Yes, there are a variety of reasons why meters are not being billed correctly. It often involves cases such as a contractor upgrading an electric panel. The panel belongs to the building. They take out the meters, they put them back in, they can get mixed up. Sometimes a solar installer will misidentify the meter on the application.
PG&E says sometimes a builder will also incorrectly mark the meter for apartments or condos.
And if you ever suspect that you're not paying the right bill, check your meter.
Okay, take a look. I want to show you that meter ID number is listed right here on your monthly bill in the service information section. The ID number is also on the actual meter, and it's a good idea to check to make sure that they match.
And then call PG&E if you find a discrepancy, and we'll come out and verify that. We can correct your bill. If you've been overbilled, we can go back 36 months of billing cycles and credit your account.
Kimberly says PG&E has credited at least 2 accounts in the neighborhood, and as you heard, if you've overpaid, they can credit your account. And don't forget, ABC10 is here to help. Do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? Email me at onyourside@abc10.com.
We know that in news, stories are filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening every day, from neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness. And each week, we're sharing stories about people making a difference. Tonight, in our Champions of Hope, Alex Bell introduces you to the Kindness Mobile Thrift Shop, where donating or buying clothes can help someone in need.
Welcome to the Kindness Mobile Thrift Shop. The original concept was, let's get a bus, throw things in it, and go to different communities that need help. Vests, denim jackets, leather coats. We're not like a big box thrift store. Everything here is like from the 80s as far as pricing goes.
The Kindness Mobile Thrift Shop,
Thanks.
started by Rusty Blackwell, is on a mission to help others.
Okay, here we go. Every penny that we secure, it goes to the Rustier Foundation, which is the foundation that I started that has 4 branches geared towards single mothers and their children, suicide prevention initiatives, animal rescue, and underseen communities, because those are all things directly related to my heart.
The shop's donations are funded by donations itself.
And we handpick every single item you see, every stitch of clothing, every earring back. We pick everything.
But if you visit the bus,
Look up to the right, and you'll see her.
you'll notice more than just clothes.
Also, whenever you see a ladybug, that's my mom too.
Ladybugs, known as a sign of good fortune and love.
And her name is Joan. This picture was taken, I think, in either 1959 or 1960.
A single mom from New York with a knack of reusing goods.
She's the one that got me into the whole thrifting vibe and all. Like, when newspapers were in fashion, she was the one that would circle every Saturday, every Sunday, garage sale, flea market, thrift store.
Rusty knowing how a piece of clothing or even a purse can bring comfort.
I still have this bag in storage.
You still have
Yeah,
it?
I still have it. I have to keep. That's my mom. Yeah.
What do you think she would say?
She
seeing
would be
you do all this.
extremely proud. Blessed. She started all this.
What's making you emotional about that?
It's hard. It's hard. She died a year after my wife died, on the same day.
Rachel, Rusty's wife, died by suicide.
2020, on November 12th, my wife took her life. And that's something that really, really, let me tell you, that's not a club that you want to be in. We were dealing with mental health and dealing with her issues and things like that for many, many years before that day. And then once that happened, I knew that I needed to do more.
Every shirt, pair of earrings, or hat that's bought or donated, now giving back to those who need it most. Russ and his team recently took the mobile thrift shop to Southern California.
And good morning. A couple of hours into our trip, the sun is now rising on our way down to LA. And people are just pulling over on the road and our trucks, and there's the bus, and bringing more and more.
Giving away everything in their bus for free to LA wildfire victims.
We have to, because again, this is bigger than us, and it's clothing. It's, basic necessities.
The Kindness Mobile Thrift Shop carrying more than clothes.
Rachel wouldn't want me to be upset. My mom wouldn't want me to be upset. They would want me to smile and keep pushing and keep helping.
But also good fortune and love, just like a ladybug.
I've brought her with me in more ways than one. And she is the inspiration, and I owe this all to her.
Taking what his mother and his wife taught him on the road to share a little kindness in the world.
Wow, thank you, Rusty, for all that you do. We know there are so many more stories waiting to be told. If you know someone making a difference, we'd love to hear about it. Please share a story with us by emailing us at tothepoint@abc10.com. Together, we can keep spreading positivity, one story at a time.
When you need to get away from it all, I mean, really get away from it all, there's a secluded little hideout where the Tahoe and El Dorado National Forest meets. It's a place where you can really unplug.
The last power is in the town of Quintet.
How far back?
Probably 17 miles.
Sir. Welcome to Uncle Tom's Cabin, one of the most remote bars in Northern California that's been catering to the off-roading community for over 160 years.
There's no places like this.
Rance McFarland is one of the volunteer caretakers of Uncle Tom's Cabin. And just to be clear, this cabin is not related to the book Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Who is Uncle Tom?
Tom Markham. Tom Markham was original that homesteaded the 40 acres. This is a 40-acre property.
Not a lot is known about Tom Markham, other than he was a miner and a fur trapper who in the 1860s homesteaded near the Rubicon Trail, which was a rough and rugged road linking Lake Tahoe and the gold rush village of Georgetown.
He was well known for his, how he could process his hides there. So there was other trappers that would bring their stuff to him to help process it.
For years, miners, loggers, and ranchers used to pass by Uncle Tom's Cabin to rest, get supplies, or do some trading.
They're traveling through and stopping and visiting, started basically calling him Uncle Tom. So hence, the name is stuck.
It's unclear what happened to Uncle Tom, but in the 1920s, the Lawyers, a prominent cattle ranching family, bought the place and turned it into a rest stop of sorts for early automobile travelers looking for gas or maybe some alcoholic libations.
Does it get pretty rowdy during some of these off-road events that come up?
Yeah, if these walls could talk.
Uncle Tom's Cabin is still owned by the Lawyer family, and it's still an off-road rest stop serving libations. And if you're tired, or if you've had too much to drink, you can stay at one of their rustic cabins, emphasis on rustic.
People usually just bring their sleeping bags to put on top of the beds.
It doesn't look like you guys have a maid service here.
No.
If you thought the cabins were rustic, wait till you see the two-seat outhouse.
But it's a nice way, I guess, to kind of keep warm and keep company.
Uncle Tom's takes credit cards now, but years earlier, they took a different kind of credit.
Why do you got so many dollar bills up on the roof here?
Well, the loggers back in the day when they used to come over here, they would put their initial or mark on it and use it as a bank to where they could come back and use it.
Well, it may be a little rustic and hard to get to, but there's a certain kind of charm about this place that seems to attract weary travelers back to Uncle Tom's Cabin, generation after generation.
From Uncle Tom's Cabin, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Trust isn't given, but earned. It's built every day by doing the hard work, putting in the hours, doing the research, holding the powerful accountable, and being there when you need us most. Working hard to earn your trust every day, every newscast, every story. Watch weeknights at 6 or stream live on ABC10 Plus.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look, it's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.